Alright. Hey, my name is Reclaimer. I'm going to be playing Bayonetta today. We just had Loner Heroes, Devil May Cry run. That was really great. Thank you for anyone that's stayed to watch yet another hack and slash game, which is not as popular. Hoping to make it a little bit more prominent now. So, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the run. I will be playing as a different character. I won't be playing as the default character, Bayonetta. I'll be playing as the other character, the Virgil to Devil May Cry's Dante. I'll be playing as Jean. And time will start on go in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we're going to open up into an auto-scrolling segment. Not much can really be done here, so I'll just go ahead and talk about like the core mechanics of the game. You'll also notice that some cutscenes are going to be a little funny. We see John and John in this cutscene instead of Bayonetta and John, because this is a in-game cut. So the quirks of playing Jean is that I will deal 50% more damage. The trade-off is I also take 50% more damage. I deal extra damage with these Wicked Weaves. They'll be these big hands and feet that you'll see on the screen during the run. The cool thing that John has is she can evade infinitely. Bayonetta has an exhaust dodge, where she can only exhaust 5 times in a row, and then she'll be locked out of evading for a good second and a half. The big trade-off for Jean, though, is that getting Witch Time. Witch Time is a mechanic in this game where right before you take damage, you can evade, and slow down time, you'll run faster, your bullets will do more damage, and angels will not really be able to do much against you. You can knock enemies airborne really easily. Enemies lose like all the weight that they have, so big enemies are just as easy to manipulate as small enemies like these, which are affinities. You're going to see them throughout the run. There's going to be a few sneak peeks during this section, but circling back, as Jean, the trade-off is that I can only get Witch Time after I take damage. So I have to press the evade button after I've already gotten hit. The window is like 6 frames, a tenth of a second. It's pretty restrictive using traditional gameplay styles, so I do have to play a little bit more aggressive to be able to make use of Witch Time. But Witch Time is longer. So, full trade-offs. But, hey, this is Bayonetta. Hack and slash game. Our combos are going to be punches and kicks. You're going to see a lot of Wicked Weaves as I'm playing Jean, but nothing too foreign if you've played this game. Another sneak peek for one of the future bosses in the game that you'll see in the background. His name is Fortitudo. Big dragon you see on the right. Coming up halfway here. We can't really make this go faster, but we can actually slow it down by taking damage, so I'm going to prevent that if possible.
They launched the witch hunts, rounding up the battle-weary witches with little resistance and subjugating those who wished to continue the struggle. Human faith in the miracles of their god pushed the witch hunts further.
Almost done.
Witches,
Good 15 or so.
the darkness, were extinguished from the earth. All.
So one cool major thing that this game has, and we'll see the standard cutscene here, a non-in-game cutscene, scripted one. One cool thing that this game has is that during attacks, you get to press and hold the button to extend the attack, shooting bullets, and I can actually do that in between evading. I'm going to be able to press and hold the punch button, punch, kick, and punch like this respectively. In this section, I don't have Wicked Weaves, which is fine. But, second best option we have is knocking enemies into each other, or knocking them into walls. They'll take contact damage from hitting walls, like this one right here. He has super armor. He didn't want to cooperate. That's fine. Go ahead and grab him. That one also super armor. Hit him with a ragdoll parry. was actually able to parry the attack with the body of the other angel. Knock him into that one. He died midair. That's no big deal. Enemy introduction. We're going to have decorations. I'm actually going to stare at the ground to manipulate their AI. They're going to fly into my field of vision, which is really helpful because it clumps them up instead of having them float away. They approach me. Grab this guy out of the air. I'm going to go ahead and kill these decorations on spawn here. Freeze up the spawn pool so I can go over to these angels, the affinities, and ragdoll them into the wall. Underneath my health bar, you'll see the purple meter. That's my magic meter. With that magic meter, I can go up to an enemy like this, torture attack. He's an applaud. He's got a full health bar. He's dead now. Go ahead and try to generate some magic in between the section here. It's 1 HP. There we go. Alright. This section's a tutorial. 3 torture attacks. I'm going to be trying hitting 2 angels at the same time. Pressing and holding down my attack shoots a bunch of bullets and gives me a lot of magic. And as you can see, some of the bullets are ricocheting to other angels. That's ideal. That'll be the end of the prologue. So in between every chapter, we have the results screen, and after that, we will have something called Angel Attack. A little bit of an arcade shooter. I'll be able to get items during that, which will carry on through the run. We only do that once, so you're not going to see it for a while. Go ahead and master that prompt and go on to the first chapter. Okay, punch, kick. Let me do that again. Punch, kick, punch. When you see me spray bullets, that indicates that I am pressing and holding an attack button while I am evading. Strafing while picking up an angel weapon right there. This game has a lot of free-flowing movement. We skipped that fight, there was a fight behind us. There's also a fight here if I pick up that statue and rebuild it. But we can just skip it by jumping across and doing this attack combo. It gives us enough distance, and we can break the piece at the end of it using the Wicked Weave. And we're going to be coming up on our first shop trip here. I'm going to be buying a consumable item that gives me double damage on select attacks for 15 seconds. And I'm going to be buying a technique which is called air dodge. Go ahead and play a little bit of bowling. Pick that up during the animation. Here we have an applaud with a staff. The other one that we've seen has had a bow. Go ahead and kill that decoration. That's going to free up the spawn pool for that flail affinity to fall. I'm going to stare at the ground so those decorations were able to fly into my path. Need to find this flail angel, torture attack him. He'll drop his angel weapon because I torture attacked him. We got a stacked spawn here. I'm gonna pick up the trumpet. Go ahead and snipe that decoration. Pick up the flail here. Introduction to the angel Beloved. Gonna go ahead and get Witch Time. Hit him twice in the core. completely depletes the health bar. And we're a witch, if you didn't know that. Using our hair as a conduit, we summon the infernal demon Gamora. He's pretty hungry. Cool thing about killing that beloved, he drops this axe. I'm gonna go ahead and take this axe to the end of the chapter for a pretty big time save. We pick up that LP. That allows us to trade it in with the shopkeeper for a shotgun. Shotguns that we'll be putting on our hands during the run. A lot going on. We have flashback with Fortitude out. At which time, get up in his face, spray a bunch of bullets. He gave us very favorable RNG. His accuracy is quite horrible. It's very often he'll shoot 4 or so, and he'll miss 2 of them. Punch, punch, pause, kick on this beloved climbing the wall. Cool thing about playing Jean, Wicked Weaves deal pretty good damage. Go ahead and deplete the health bar before he even touches it. We're going to wait for the scripted animation to play. He's going to slam the wall once. We killed him so fast, we can't really do anything other than wait here. Quick time event. This game is from 2009. Relic of the past. Go ahead and use this axe here. Evade out of it to end the animation. And you see we're on the platform. We killed him so quickly that the game would never expect you to be able to kill him anywhere else but the top of the platform. Quick time event with Gamora. Say goodbye. Also, a cool thing you can do in this game, if you press evade while the medals are loading, all of them will load at the same time instead of individually. In situations like that where you're waiting for an animation to finish playing, you can actually make the load initiate faster. So we're going to be moving on to Chapter 2. The game doesn't really slow down from here, so commentary has to be pretty quick to keep up. But we're going to see a familiar face. Yet another flashback fight. Hello, Jean. Big relief. We get an infinite combo chain on her, where she can't move, otherwise she will erratically dodge us. The moon's out, as you can see, so we get to walk on the wall because we're a witch, and the moon's gone. Small little soft tutorial, basically. Go ahead and break this wall here. Skip this cutscene. Torture attack is flail affinity, camera manipulation. He strafed out of the way. That's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and reposition this bow here. Ragdoll. That bench is gonna eat a shot. That's okay. Punch, punch, pause, kick. We find our friend here. Torture attack, because we want his bow. Okay, so that is all the safety straps we need for Halos. Look at our combo in the right side. Go ahead and pick up the bow. End the fight. But that was 1.2 million Halos. Standard fight time is like 52 seconds. So using 2 seconds, I get to have all the economy that I need for the remainder of the run. It's really cool. Here's an introduction for the enemy enchant. spin kick to get them confused, knock them into each other. During that transition, my jump gets reset. Drop on the cart. With the fight trigger. Using this bow, I'm going to kill 5 of these enchants. Stare at the ground to deactivate their AI. Punch, punch, pause, kick on the Beloved. That sets him up for the perfect HP threshold that we need. He's not happy. This is a Beloved from that other fight that we were just out 30 seconds ago. He's calling for help, but double-edged sword. Because punch, punch, pause, kick. His buddy just killed him. There's friendly fire enabled. Enrage him for extra combo here. So using the taunt mechanic in this game, you'll see enemies glow orange. Dealing damage to them gives us extra combo. We layer that with the additional combo we get in Witch Time as John. And angel weapons just give a lot of combo in general. Using all 3 of those, I already have 241,000 halos. That's all that we would actually spend for the whole run as far as our shop trips. So I get to play a little bit more aggressive and not worry about combo at all without any trade-offs. I have over double the amount of halos that I would need at the end of this chapter. Grab the staff from the Applaud that we torture attack. Okay, we have Fortitudo here. Bunch of mashing with Foot Climax. We get at our hands and feet and just shoot a bunch of bullets. We use the staff to deal a ton of damage. Now we're just waiting for this to trigger. Hit him with a weave. Bunch of bullets in the face. And here we have a quick time event that kills you if you miss it. That's the end of chapter 2. So chapter 3, all chapters are going to be very hectic, but chapter 3 also opens up very quickly. In between this chapter and the next one, I'm actually going to opt for a shop trip. I'm going to buy a bunch of techniques and consumables that I'll go over shortly. Also, if you want to know how many halos that you get with a combo, you can remove a 0 off the combo score, and that's how many halos get converted. Okay, chapter 3 shop trip. We get our 2 items. We get a sword and the shotguns. These yellow lollipops give us invulnerability. 15 seconds for the small. And 60 for the large. Stiletto. That's Zonko. An afterburner kick. I also buy 2 witch pearls, which gives us 2 orbs of magic. A little bit of menu managing. We can actually input buffer this. Activated a large red. That gives me double damage for this attack. So Stiletto, which we will be using pretty frequently, is just like a lunge forward. Afterburner kick is a rising or descending kick. And then Tetsuzanko is this one right here. Using 3 magic. I can immediately cast a Wicked Weave. Okay, there we go. The movement's going to look a lot different now. I'll go over it shortly, but it's kind of hard to see in these small corridors. Just know that I'm using objects to use a downward descending kick. Here we have the introduction for an enemy Fairness. Knock him out of the air. That was a very good fight. Swat him out of the air with that kick, which is really good. Yeah, I used that pot just there to lock onto it for the descending kick. Using Stiletto right here. reset gravity, get to the edge here, and then spam evade to be able to go really quickly. Yeah, the movement's going to consist of me generating momentum using the afterburner kick downwards, and then using stiletto or Tetsuzanko to maintain my momentum at the end of it. If you do that successfully, you'll start flying across the screen as you see. I opened up with a Tetsuzanko against that Baroness on the right. Then I broke his line of sight with the fountain in the center. Doing that, I force him to teleport and get right next to the other Baroness, so they stack. Using the Tetsuzankos and punch, kick, punch with Shiraba, I get to hit them with 2 instances of damage if I hit them in a very specific spot of their body. So, another quick time event. We're going to go into a small corridor. After that, it's going to open up into a large lava lake. Instead of doing like 3 separate fights, completing a puzzle, walking around the lava lake, using the movement that I've showcased, we can just go from point A all the way to point B, which is at the exit. Optional fight here. That one's gonna hit me, but that's okay. Alright. And this movement is rhythmic. Can easily be messed up. Also, we can ascend alongside objects using Witch Walk like that. A little bit of technical movement going on, mixing the stilettos with afterburner kicks to maintain my movement even as I get closer to the ground. A good chapter 3 overall. Okay, so we're gonna open up to our first boss fight of the run. Fortitudo. We've seen quite a bit of him so far, so you can probably already guess what we're gonna deal with. Menu bug, ignore that. I'm gonna be locking on to the right head. One more kick. Go. Variable RNG. Handstand. Shoot a bunch of bullets. It hits both heads. Get him to threshold really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and press and hold taunt. You'll see my magic meter go up. So Fortitudo is going to perch. I'm going to go ahead and activate Invulnerability Lollipop. Go next to the heads. Doing that, we skip a like 10-second segment of fire coming up from our feet. And then a bunch of platforms will open up underneath us, which we have to parkour on in Witch Time. Also, if you want to know how many inputs I'm doing, you can divide that number going up by 5. Unfortunately, the little visual indicator caps off at 99, so you can't really use that as an indicator. So I'm going to use 9 magic here. Tetsuzanko animation cancel using a jump. That was a 2-tick. That was really good. Try to get one more. Perfect. Stand right here on the seam. Get Witch Time. Pick him in the head. Go to the scripted spot. Align at the jaw. Get Threshold. Go ahead and get over here on the platform. So one thing I love about Bayonetta, we're on chapter 4 right now. There's been no downtime. Everything is just like go, go, go. There's no cold start. There's no early game RNG. That is, can't be minimized. The only real RNG that exists is just enemy spawn positions if it's not a scripted introduction encounter. If you have a second wave of angels in a fight, their spawn positions will be dynamic. But there's some kind of manipulation you can do there with like where you're standing, where you're looking, and where you're moving to. Last phase of the fight. Tetsuzonkos can hit from very far away. It's gonna hit me barely, but that's okay. Punch, kick, punch as well from distance. Okay. Not the best RNG. Okay. Not too bad. So, to finish off Fortitude out, we're going to summon our good friend Malphus. One of my favorite angel or demon designs in the whole game. And Fortitudo is one of my favorite angel designs as well, so. During development with Fortitudo, they had the designs finalized, and then I think it was Hideki Kamiya looked at it and was like, something's missing. He was like, you know what? I like everything. Invert the face. Make it upside down. And then, I don't know. There's something about it. Very cool. Okay, so we're gonna go into Chapter 5. Chapter 5 has 6 new enemies that we're gonna encounter. Kind of a slog of a chapter, but everything that we do is pretty strategized, where we fight them as efficiently as possible. Invisible wall. Unfortunate. We have an introduction for Grace and Glory. Okay. No big deal. As you can tell, you can animation cancel using jump and punch, which you'll see quite a bit as I fly around the battlefield. Get an LP piece. Use that use that affinity as a device for movement. And we have an introduction for yet another doggy. This one is Fearless. So now we have a lightning and fire enemy for both Grace and Glory. The enemies with the claws, and then the dogs. During that transition, our jumps get reset, so, you know, Afterburner K can just fly through the air. It's nighttime now. You know what happens when it's nighttime. So, because I have infinite evades, I can just fly down here and hit terminal velocity. The camera can't even keep up. Oh, this is very good situation. Never mind. Catch him in midair as he falls down. Here we have Harmony. Manta Ray enemies, we don't see them that much in this run. Get to a very specific spot. We go far enough away where they spawn in on top of us. They stack, and using the fully charged punch with Shiraba, we get to immediately kill them. Pressure plate. Boom. Another introduction, the Ardor. Using the Grace Claws from the last Grace and Glory fight. Grace is a red one. And using a double damage lollipop, we can just annihilate the health bar. So the moon's out. We have Witch Walk. I'm going to fall up the side of the tower. All the way up. Time save is a good 20 seconds. And it's just fun to do. Yet another Grace and Glory fight. Ooh, claws are in the wall. Okay, we recovered that. Grace and Glory are very threatening, but you can trip them and uppercut them. That's really their only weakness other than Witch Time. Get the last LP piece. Alright, here's what we saw the enemy in the Records of Time, the very intro sequence. It is called Inspired. More like uninspired because it takes 2 seconds to kill. We get to hold our position in the air between that trigger. And just fly through the air at the right height. So, killing the Inspired that quickly actually skips a good 40-second cutscene of summoning Malphus and eating it like a worm. This Inspired is an optional fight. Lock-on's still there. That's okay. Using our movement, we can just fly. We can fly so far that the lock-on is still stuck on the enemy that has already despawned. Down this platform. Get on that platform as it comes in. Weapon swap. Activate Invulnerability Lollipop. Yeah, manipulation, shoot bullets. We got her to try to parry. Manipulating her AI. But she can actually deflect bullets with her hands. Get the sweep here. Boom. Perfect. Okay. This is a scripted little sequence where we can... Okay, hang on. Where we can now transform into a panther. You can't see because I skipped the cutscene so fast, but I promise we can shapeshift now. A very good chapter 5. Very proud of that one, except for the end, but that's okay. Okay. So, fun part of the run. Angel attack, I'll be using my mouse. I'll use the bottom cross and the bottom little slash as the indicator. The little red spot on the heads of the affinities are actually where you have to aim. So you gotta aim a little bit lower. I'm going for 120 points here. That'll let me get 4 magic flutes, which, if you play Devil May Cry, it is a holy water. It is a consumable item you can use to deal massive amounts of damage to basically everything on screen. So we're going to be using these in very select situations with massive time save implications. Okay. Second to last shop trip of the run. Stock up. Now we can turn into a owl. So, I can shapeshift into a panther. Verjean is technically a lynx. And the crow is technically an owl, but like... it's not that big a deal with the name scheme. And we have the weapon Durga that we got on last chapter. When I charge an attack on my feet, big bombs deals massive amount of damage, but the animation takes a while. Here's a skip here. Come underneath the platform, grab the ledge. So instead of using the afterburner kick, I am going into panther form, jumping and evading out of it like that. That gives me a ton of forward momentum. And using Stiletto, like this, I get to maintain my momentum. Racing Glory fight, V2. Get the sweep as he spawns. Witch time here. Very great fight. So as I was saying, as you know, we can maintain our combo in between evading. That applies to Panther Form. Panther Form is actually pressing the evade button twice. And I can use Panther Form to jump across the arena like this and drop a bomb and kill a bunch of enemies as they spawn in. Ton of combat applications and just normal traversal. So in this fight, we have one of the few situations where you're looking from a perspective that's not of Jean or Bayonetta. We were viewing that fight from the perspective of the child that was in the protective dome. All of our fights actually take place in Paradiso. But we're a terrible guardian. We're just gonna leave the kid behind. If you get far enough away, where Cereza, the little child, has to teleport to you, you can actually break the tether, getting through that section in 20 seconds instead of 60. That one's pretty rough. We go through a heaven portal. We're in Paradiso now. Previously, we were just in Purgatorio. Okay. Punch, kick. Maintain my combo here. I get the punch, weave off. Followed up by Tetsuzanko. It ticked once. It's about to tick twice right here. Tick 2. Tetsuzanko. And then another PKP to finish the Beloved off. If we make sure the Beloved doesn't get close to us, we can actually lock onto the core instead of, like, the foot. Deals way more damage. 2TE here with Gamora. You know how this ends. A little bit of comedy. So, turns out that's not us. That's an angel. Halo above their head. So here we are. Little chase sequence. Oh my god, that hit me. So what I was doing was using the lock-on. There's like a lock-on dash where you can dash to an enemy using one orb of magic with the crow form. Yeah, manipulation, kick, punch, footstool, knock him back on the ground, and that bomb will always hit. That angel was called a joy. They can take your form, and they can take your weapons in your arsenal, and even the ones you don't even have yet, and use them against you. They have human AI, like the boss that we fight, Jean, so they can evade our attacks, they can parry us. They're very aggressive, very cool enemies, honestly. Not great for a speedrunner because, man, they're annoying. But you can actually reset their AI by footstooling them. As long as you jump on their head, it'll reduce what is called their agitated or frustration meter, which slowly builds up over time, where then they will always parry your attack at a certain limit. So, really cool enemy. Jump into the second boss fight. We already saw him. This is Temperantia. Very good RNG here. Please don't punch. Nice. Best RNG I could ever ask for. We go ahead and jump on his arm. Okay, punch, kick, punch. He barely hit me. That's okay. Oh, I already broke it. Never mind. So we can get on the arm from distance. Lock on, use a Tetsuzanko for 3 magic, followed up by a punch, kick, punch. That'll break the orb. And then we can summon our good friend Hecatoncheir. Every single individual finger is a demon head. Very strong. So what I'm doing here is just a technique where I can use a exploit with some of the weapon properties. I can use a claws on my feet, switch to the shotguns, and just spray a bunch of bullets if I switch weapons mid-attack. That was a Tetsuzanko. Punch, kick, punch. There's a climax. We can safely hit threshold from range using those attacks instead of getting close and having the enemies try to hit us when we're next to the orb. Alright, second to last phase. Same thing as you've seen, punch, kick, punch, followed by Tetsuzanko. That does enough damage to hit the threshold to break one of the orbs. This game is funny sometimes, I won't lie. That happens maybe 2% of the time. A random car will hit you during the animation. Alright, so here's the Kilgore exploit. Weapon swap to the shotguns. Look at that health bar deplete. 1, 2, 3, 4. Climax. That's gotta hurt. Pretty good fight overall. Very funny to take damage from just the silliest RNG possible of getting hit during an animation. It's only the really time where that's like the only time that can really happen. Thankfully. But don't have magic right now. Or yeah, I do. I'm good. Never mind. We're gonna come up on the shortest chapter in the whole game. Best soundtrack though. Go ahead and eject them off of the car. Use a magic flute. Very quick fight. Use our movement tech. Because we're staring at the wall, the only valid location for that joy to spawn in is right next to the wall. Her doing that spin animation actually put her in range of the Durga Bomb and killed her. Very funny. But yeah, you can manipulate the spawn positions on some enemies like that, where I'm staring at the wall. Ideally, the Joy would want to spawn kind of far away in the arena, in my line of sight, but further away from me. But there's no other valid spawn locations other than right next to the wall that I'm hugging up on. Weird bug. The road is literally not there. I'll phase through it. Let's see if I can do the skip. Okay. Do a 180. Turn to a panther form. And then I cross the finish line, ending this entire segment, which would be 6 minutes in a mere matter of seconds. I think that's one of the oldest skips in the entire game. A fun one, for sure. There's supposed to be enemies there, but they didn't spawn. Let's see if I can reload it and have them spawn in now. Okay. Okay, so these are the Braves. Unfortunately, I want to kill them as fast as possible. But if you leave 3 of them alive, they'll actually fuse together. They'll strike a pose akin to the Ginyu Force from Dragon Ball Z. Fuse together into a large beloved. The Braves are very strong enemies. They're very fast, and they don't give you a lot of opportunities to counterattack them unless you're dodge offsetting correctly. I was supposed to have the invulnerability item that I used when I use a magic flute at the beginning of the chapter, but I had a reload. Oh, unfortunate. It happens. That is a new bug that's been encountered lately. Not sure what's causing it. Moving on to chapter 9. We skipped the cutscene too fast so you can't see, but we're in paradise now. Love the visuals here. One of 3 OP pieces for this chapter. We're skipping a fight by doing this. Wall cling resets your downward afterburner kicks. We want your key, buddy. No. Thank you very much. I'll let this animation play. Very nice. But going up that is for chumps. I'm just going to jump at the very top, reset gravity, and if you've ever seen Indiana Jones, this is exactly how it's recreated in the movie. You jump down, cross the invisible wall, jump to the very end, and then you can despawn Golem, which is what that thing is called, at the top, and it just flies into the abyss. Very funny to see. A Panther offset. Punch, Panther, kick, Panther, punch, Panther. The same as evading as normal. Okay, messed up our timing a little bit there. He parried me as he was getting staggered from my Tetsuzanko. The Grace is off screen, so his AI is deactivated. He is not cooperating. Go ahead and sweep him and catch him. Okay. E piece gets completed, but we don't need that. Use the side of the building for height. And just skip to that area. Here we have the most unfavorable enemy in the game. An enemy so unfavorable that Lady Gaga tweeted about this enemy 3 times. That fight went very well, thankfully. Second piece that we need. Okay. We're gonna descend here. Activate invulnerability. Spin kick to descend very quickly. Not like that. Go ahead and grab onto that. Wow. That's okay. We're gonna have to do that all again. Getting hit along the way, unfortunately, stops our momentum. Okay. Go ahead and torture attack this flail affinity. Punch kick. Jump Panther evade. Go ahead and break that wall. Alright. Enemy introduction, Golem. Using the flail in a red. Massive amounts of damage. I'm not going to be climaxing here, because if we deplete the health bar 3 times, we can actually end the fight. Doing so saves us a good 40 seconds. We skip an entire climax animation using Hecatonk Chair to beat him up and just fling him around like a volleyball. It's a very funny climax that I recommend that you watch. Very humorous. Okay. We're gonna open up with 3 joys in the next chapter. You're obviously gonna see familiar scenery, because this is basically our memories, I guess. Not really explained, but this is where we've fought Jean before. He's gonna try to parry me. Hit her with an uppercut. Not bad. You can actually lock on to this gate here. It's very unfortunate. As you saw, it ate my combo. Okay, get to the right spot. Use a magic flip. Didn't get this piece over here. It's okay. Gonna run past these affinities. They cooperated, which is nice. They can actually try, the trumpet one can actually try to shoot at you. Three harmonies that spawn in. Goodbye. Get to maintain our height here. This is a small little mini-boss version of Fortitudo and Temperance. They're not too tanky. They die pretty easily. See if I get a butterfly here. Nope, that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and charge my Shiraba and store it inside Panther form. I'm gonna use these for magic. Kinship that spawn in. Optional fight. We do not care. Okay, introduction to the enemy Gracious and Glorious. The quirk to this enemy is that they're the same as Grace and Glory, except you cannot get Witch Time by evading against them. But using uppercuts and sweeps, you can easily take care of them without them being too much of a problem. Really good skip there. It saves us from dealing with 3 separate waves of enemies by just going over the arena and going to the end. A very good chapter 10. A good chapter 10 is 3 minutes for that one, so. Well, more of an acceptable time. Very happy with that. The Joys initially cooperated, which is good. Okay, so this is the only time we get to bring an angel weapon into a boss fight. I want this flail, so I'm going to torture attack that flail affinity. Kill this Ardor. Pick that up. Okay. You're going to see me doing jump uppercut cancels with Shiraba. It's rhythmic, and it actually uses the end lag or the hit stun of hitting the boss to cancel out the end of the animation and the lag by jumping in between every single uppercut. It is 3 times faster than standing still and uppercutting. Very technical. Can be messed up, but it's very cool. So to reset this fight, jump off the platform. Activate a small red here. I'm going to be using the flail after 4 uppercuts. Goodbye, health bar. Next phase, please. Alright. I'm doing my best to try to jump through the arena, because the boss's tongue acts as a moving platform. You can actually manipulate it where if you get into the air in crow form, it'll slide you down the tongue as it extends underneath you, taking you from the tip towards the base. Didn't get it. That's okay. Next phase. See if we get it this time. Nope. That's okay. This is one of the hardest, the second hardest thing you can do in the run. You can basically skip to the very tip of it and get through that section in 3 seconds. Stiletto followed by 2 uppercuts, because there is invulnerability on the third tongue for about a second for some reason. Pretty bad nosebleed. We summon our good friend Scolopendra. Real nasty demon. Now we're going to be moving on to a different change of pace for this chapter. We're going to be on a military transport Valkyrie. Pretty cramped. And John is trying to launch Wicked Weaves at us. We go for Grace, always. We want those claws. We take care of those applauds really quickly. 180. We're actually going to go out of bounds here. Try that again. Let me go ahead and reset this. Okay. So we are completely out of bounds here. Should not be on this side of the ship. We're going to hit this boss trigger with Jean. Come over here. And manipulation. We completely eject her off the ship. Health bar on the bottom right. Goodbye. That skips phase 1. And phase 2. I think she has like 3 health bars. Very lengthy boss fight. I don't have Cereza. Okay, another broken trigger. Genuinely can say I've never had that happen before. Yeah, I don't have Cereza. You learn something new every day. I can just replay the whole chapter. Yeah, okay. Let me go to chapter menu. I'll just start from the beginning. Doesn't take too long to get there. But I guess that's a soft lock. Unfavorable RNG on their spawns, but it's not too bad. Ejector off the plane. Go ahead and kill. Just shoot these decorations to break the verse. Otherwise, it would give us a little combo result screen. Okay. And we're back. Let that load a little bit. I don't have Cereza. I'm gonna reset the game at this point. Something is terribly wrong, and I don't know why. Because I've actually never had these issues happen previously. So, you know, happens. Should be able to continue without issues. It should load in correctly. Let's see, okay. Yep, there we go. Now we have little Cereza. Go ahead and kill him before he tries to walk over and hit her. Take care of them pretty quickly. Alright. Get in range of them, use a last flute. Kills all of them. Otherwise, they'll like teleport around the arena and be really annoying. Okay. Not too bad. Decent chapter 12 overall, excluding, you know, some issues. Okay. So, coming up, I'm going to be doing the hardest phase skip, cycle skip in the whole game. Try and concentrate here, but this will be Prudence. He has 4 knees. We want to break all 4 in one single cycle. It's going to do a range attack, which is ideal. Locks him in this animation. Jump cancel. We Tetsu's Zonko 1 of the knees. He'll do a stomp. Another range attack. Hit him early. Get here. Lock on. Please give me witch time. Okay. Punch. Kick. Punch. Jump Tetsu. That's a 4-knee 1 cycle. Alright. That saves a good 40 seconds. It is incredibly hard to do. There's very specific ranges and locations you have to stand, perspective for every single knee. So, very happy to get that one off with little issue. That was my biggest, most recent time save that I have found for this run. And it took a lot of brainstorming to really think about how you can break all 4 knees at the same time. What's supposed to happen is that you break both knees on one side, or just 2 knees. Immediate dive, that's okay. Have to taunt. But the first phase, you're supposed to break 2 knees, and then Sapientia will dive, a scripted dive, kind of like this. See if he gives me favorable RNG here. Okay. Can't understate how unfavorable the RNG on the beginning of the second phase. Ideally, Sapientia will attack you for a few seconds, giving you a lot of damage opportunities, followed by a scripted dive. But I didn't even get a initial opportunity to deal damage. So, I had to make up for that using a little bit of magic, which is not too bad. Got some advantageous attacks after he dove. So, holding the left stick forward, I get to punch, kick, and punch that core all the way at the very bottom of the water tunnel. I activate Invulnerability Lollipop. If I get hit, or if I press the manual lock-on button, it will break the lock-on, and it will take like 10 seconds to readjust it. So, it's very imperative that you do not take damage or press lock-on or get witch time during that segment. Otherwise, you lose a lot of time. But we summon our good friend Phantasma Rennie, and the children are very hungry. Goodbye. Good fight.
Such a disappointment.
Okay, we're coming up on the last shop trip of the run. I'm going to buy an accessory that gives me witch time when I take damage, which uses magic. I'm going to restock all my consumable items. Celine's Light. I'm going to buy some purples. They give me magic. I'm going to buy Red Hotshot, which revives me if I die mid-combat. And here we are. So, if you know Space Harrier, an old Sega IP, the soundtrack is a remix version of Space Harrier, and this entire section, the combat, the enemy spawn locations, the visual effects are all homages to Space Harrier. The best soundtrack in the whole game. Only downside is that this is an unskippable 7-minute segment of just mashing 2 shoot buttons with not super interactive game. So I'm just going to let this section really ride out. Full detail to mention is that the thrusters on the back counter your position. So if I'm moving left, you'll see the thrusters on the right activate. Very cool. Works for diagonals as well. Using one magic, I can consume it to shoot a lead rocket. Does the same damage as 5 shots. Barely hit me. It's okay. We kill the cycle so fast, we just have to sit and wait. Kind of unfortunate. At the end of this section, we're getting close to almost halfway there. We're going to have the hardest fight in the game. A lot of AI manipulation that has to be done, and a lot of just heads-up gameplay. Every fight is different. Can't manipulate everything, unfortunately. That fight will be against Jean. I'm going to activate a small red here. Smash like crazy. Kill the enemy super fast. Also, fun fact, you can rotate your rocket. There's some application for it, but it's kind of hard to do while you're mashing. Not so much for saving time, though. Very unfortunate. Some things you really wonder why they made it. Other than it being cool, it doesn't really serve a purpose. Now we're coming up on the end here. As much as I did like this section during my casual gameplay, it being an auto-scroller followed up by the hardest section in the game, right after doing a 7-minute section of abnormal gameplay is kind of rough. A little bit of menuing here. Activate a large red. Activate a small yellow. Hey. I'm gonna open up with AI manipulation against John. Hope it works out. If I can do it fast enough. Okay. We got her to block my bullets. That's okay. Celine's light to the rescue. She gave me a softball by giving me a light kick, letting me get full duration witch time and using Kilgore with rockets on feet. Wow, okay. Weird trigger that also failed. You're supposed to fight on the side of the building. That's okay. We'll reset the fight completely. Not bad. Weird anomalies this run, I won't lie. Should be threshold? Okay. Not giving me what I want here. That's fine. Okay, that should have been a confirmation, I won't lie. How silly. There we go. Very uncooperative. Not too bad, though. Everything was good except that last phase. Okay. So going into the next chapter, Tower of Truth. This is basically going to be like a montage rehash of all the enemy variations that we fought. Including these flaming Ardors that I cannot touch unless I have Witch Time. Some Braves. We're going to pick up this axe and bring it towards the end of the chapter. A little bit of head stomps with the rockets on my feet. is the only time I do not want Grace Claws. If you go too fast in that section, Temperance's Punch will actually connect. It's not supposed to, but it can. Use the Tetsu Zonko. Alright, fun little section here. There's going to be quite a bit of AI manipulation. If you shoot him enough in the face, he'll recoil and not attack you. Until you deplete the first health bar. I have to get off the gun. I'll Tetsu Zonko. Whenever you see the hand tendrils do like a looping animation, right there, that's whenever you can tell he's going to commit to doing a range attack. If you're on the gun, in between, and he hasn't looped his animation, he will punch the gun that you are on, causing you to reposition to the other one. If you let him punch, the fight's about 60 seconds. So that's a very big 15-second time save. With a pretty heads up, using Tetsu Zonko at range on an enemy in a section like that. Panther jump evading. There we go. That's what I was supposed to do on the first 3 heads in the actual boss fight. We're not in serious mode, so we don't have Wicked Weaves for free. We're just a stiletto, uppercut, uppercut. Okay. So in the center of this tower, we have a statue. The statue is actually a rocket. I'm going to go ahead and just jump to the very end. Otherwise, you'd have to fly or jump the platform across a bunch of, like, cards that despawn from under your feet. Same thing as the last golem fight. Complete the health bar 3 times. Not supposed to be like that. Okay. We have the minor version of Sapientia. And we're using Panther Offset with Durga Bombs. Jiraba Tetsu to seal the deal. What an interesting day. Oh, yeah. How strange. I had a barrier, I think, for some reason. No biggie. Alright. Go ahead and break those orbs. As you can tell, the movement's very intensive. You can save a lot of time if you're going up a slope by using the second evade as you're falling to the ground. as the first of 2 evades to get into Panther form. Really speeds up momentum as long as you like get the chain correctly. The timing is very rhythmic, very precise, not easy. There will always be room for improvement. Okay. Make him come to us by shooting him with bullets. By standing at a certain distance away from the boss, Balder, and by walking into his right shoulder, he will, most of the time, more is not there. He'll throw out a light attack? Wow, I have never seen any of this before. This is funny looking. This is an in-game cutscene, too. Okay. I hope this doesn't impact the fight. So Gamora was supposed to bite him there. Not on screen. Couldn't tell you why. Shoot bullets. Walk to the left. Good attack. We want him to throw a light attack at us. I'm gonna go ahead and use one of these. We want him to throw a light attack at us because we can eat the hit. Use Celine's light to get full... Yeah, Scolopindra's not there. What a weird day. We can eat the hit, get full witch time, and kill Gore his entire health bar. And get through the first phases very easily. Only three phases total. Yeah, I'm reinstalling my drivers after this. This is very strange. No issues prior. I did 3 different runs today too. Couldn't tell you. Shoot bullets, hold back, veer left, bad RNG. We get there. I was slightly too far back. If I was a little bit closer, he would have threw a light attack at me. Okay.
Such a disappointment.
We're going to be going to the last section of the game here. So, funny story. You can't play through the entire game as Bayonetta. The game forces you to play as Jean. Only in this section. Because Balder has grabbed a Bayonetta and has taken him to the top of the rocket. The enemies are invisible? No, they're not. Okay. They just spawned in weird. I'm paranoid now. Balder has taken Bayonetta to the top of the rocket and is trying to fuse him into the statue. That was a statue that we saw in the Tower of Truth. It's actually a conduit for the creator Jubileus. You need a Umbran Witch as the left eye, and the Lumen Sage as a right eye. So, we're going up this rocket in a very cool montage as John trying to save our childhood friend Bayonetta. We have been freed of mind control after the fight with her in the last 2 chapters. And the song for this section is called Friend. It's worth listening to on your own time. It's a little quiet. So we're in deep space, by the way. Earth is very far away. And we're still gonna keep going. Hey. Jean rescues Bayonetta from the eye. Bayonetta time, but we're still John. We get to use Kilgore to launch rockets at the face of Jubileus. Get to the next phase very quickly. So Jubileus, being the creator, has multiple elements at her disposal. The first one is the fire phase. We have to wait for this geyser. Now we can platform. From here, punch, kick, punch. That one's gonna hit me, that's okay. Get the lock on, hit that from afar. And then use fall damage to break the last hair tendril. A little bit of platforming. Right here, we're generating magic. At the end of every single phase, Jubileus will take away one entire bar of magic. Using vulnerability. That's a Zonko, that one. Fall on that one. Very quick. Okay, moving on to the last elemental phase. Lightning. Wind. Probably wind is more fitting. We have to wait for this platform. And now this last one, we can Tetsu Zonko. Okay. Business as usual, kicking rockets. Can't really hit her until she switches her orientation. Very good RNG here. I'll actually be able to break through during this attack animation. Right there. Boom. Alright, one last section. Let's see if she gives a good attack. This one's not bad. It hits me on the way down. That's okay. Turns us to a little child. They were so thoughtful that they made a child form of Jean for this section. Okay, we're going to use our last invulnerability lollipop. One neutral evade. We're going to launch kicks up at Jubileus' face. If I pan the camera, you'll see her right there. Perfect spot for all these to connect. Normally we would ride the hair tendril all the way to the top and hit her in the face, but we can just kick rockets at her face. So if you thought Jubileus was big, here is Queen Sheba. She is the god of the underworld. Her punch is so strong, she knocks the soul out of Jubileus' body. We're not done yet. We have to go through the entire solar system as Jubileus' soul. If we hit any planets on the way, we will immediately game over and have to reset the sequence. But we have to put her into the sun. That's the only way to kill her. And we are not done yet. That was Jubileus' soul. Now we have to break her body, her statue. Hey, still not done yet. Last cutscene skip. We're going to go into a credit sequence. Here in the credit sequence, we'll have 3 fights. The first 2 fights, the time doesn't matter. You can't make this section go slower. But the last fight, there's going to be a bunch of affinities applieds. The last enemy that we are to kill is a beloved. He's going to spawn in after we destroy his health bar. The game will freeze us, we'll have loss of control, and that will be time. All the animations on screen will freeze in combat. So here's that first fight of 3. Fun fact, we have a first person mode. Not very usable, but it's there. I want to give a big shout out to 2 people that have inspired me to run this game. Gala Sereni and Ace Krana. Even to this day, Ace Krana has taken a hiatus from Bayonetta 1, but he still gives me tips and tricks about things that I haven't found out yet, or have just completely missed. So, big shout out to them. They have inspired me to play this game. And I have done what I can to push it to its absolute limits, wherever possible. Bayonetta would not be what it is today without them. So, thank you. Also, shout out to Cap, since Cap is long-standing moderator for Bayonetta. He moderates Bayonetta 1, 2, 3, and Bayonetta Origins. I speedrun every game but 2. I will at some point get around to Bayonetta 2, but not for now. I think all of the games are wonderful, and you should join the Bayonetta Discord. The Trilogy Discord is for all games. It's fairly active. So if you have any questions, just hop in and chat with us. Last fight coming up. Here's the beloved, and killing him will be time right now. Okay. Yeah, Bayonetta is great. I think more people should run it because it has a lot to offer. There's not a lot of downtime. There's a lot of interesting strategies for a lot of fights. The game is very fast-paced and fun, and there's a lot of options. No specific playstyle is perfect. Everything has trade-offs. And the bugs that I've found are very abnormal, I won't lie. Can't say that I've ever seen them before. Probably just a driver issue because I recently got new hardware, so is what it is. I will close out the game because the audio after this is DMCA. We do not want that. Yeah, of course. Anything else? Yeah, we're good. We're done.